Back in August of last year, some heavy federal indictments came down targeting the South Los Angeles-based Hoover criminal gang. Multiple members and associates of the gang were arrested, and they're facing some very serious charges. The allegations are disturbing, to say the least.
11 suspected members of a South LA street gang are behind bars tonight, facing multiple federal charges in connection with a massive sex trafficking operation involving children. Prosecutors say the gang used social media and music videos as recruitment tools.
The alleged victims include women and teenage girls as young as 14. Rick Chambers live in Westwood with more on this disturbing case. Rick?
Now, there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm going to do it in multiple sections. But first, before I get into this, for those of us black people who analyze issues in the black community, it's important for us to operate in good faith. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when I criticize something I see happening in the black community, it's not to try to kiss up and score points with people who don't like African Americans. So when I criticize something in the black community, even if the criticism is harsh, it comes from a place of love and genuine concern and a genuine desire to see things change for the better. I have to point that out to make the distinction between myself and the self-hating blacks on social media who desperately want to gain the approval of racists and will attack the black community in order to do so. Eyes be a good black, sir. Now, looking at these stereotypical ratchet social media images from this Hoover criminal gang, you're probably shaking your head in disgust and embarrassment. Like, man, that's a damn shame. I know I did. But it's important to explain the difference between black culture and ghetto ratchet culture, because there is a deliberate campaign being pushed by people who hate African Americans to try to conflate the two. Now, why do they do that? Because they want all African Americans to be perceived as violent criminals, to justify stripping black people of constitutional rights. You'll see very soon extreme right-wingers pushing for black disenfranchisement. Black culture is about hard work, family, community, overcoming tough circumstances, appreciation of history and the people who sacrificed for us and paved the way so we can enjoy the rights we have today. Now, obviously, a stable home life with a family that provides a loving and nurturing environment is essential for developing young people into responsible and productive adults. But in addition to that, for black youth, just as important is having a comprehensive foundational knowledge of African American history. This is crucial in developing a healthy cultural self-worth, a sense of community, and an identity anchored into something positive. You know who you are. You don't have this giant void in your identity, and you're not susceptible to developing a destructive and predatory black self-hatred mentality. Now, ghetto ratchet culture is the opposite of black culture. It's the absence of any family value, no sense of community whatsoever. It prioritizes the chasing of fast money more often than not through criminal means. Absolutely no knowledge or appreciation of African American history. Consequently, a very self-destructive mentality. Now, if you're a youngster growing up in a dysfunctional household or in the system with little to no supervision, no structured activities, no foundational knowledge of African American history, you're going to be seeking something because you got this massive void in your identity. You're going to fill it with something. So you turn to music, TV, movies, the streets, worst of all, social media. And you build your whole identity, your whole thought process from those sources. Those are obviously not good sources to create an identity out of. They're downright toxic and destructive, which leads to the super predator mentality.
These are images that were mentioned in the indictment, things that they posted to social media. Prosecutors say the gang recruited girls as young as 14 years old, many of them runaways or kids from the foster care system. Federal officials say those victims were regularly raped and drugged, all while being forced into prostitution. The alleged ringleader, a 25-year-old woman named Amaya Armstead, who goes by Lady Duck. Prosecutors say she and her co-defendants acted as pimps, using social media to recruit vulnerable teens and young adults, then controlling them through violence, drugs, and intimidation. According to the indictment, victims who disobeyed were assaulted, humiliated, they were denied food or drugs, and in some cases, branded with tattoos of their traffickers' street names.
You know, it's pretty fucking stupid to be posting all over social media when you are involved in major criminal activity. These YN continuation school dropouts wanted to get caught. Street fame was clearly more important than being free. I'm obviously not pro-crime, but if you're gonna do it, at least have some damn common sense about it, but I digress. But yeah, this is ghetto, ratchet criminal activity at its worst. You might have heard of the saying, hurt people hurt people. The tragedy of this predatory activity is twofold when you realize that these gangbangers who grew up in tough, impoverished circumstances were ruthlessly exploiting young girls who grew up in the same messed up circumstances, or even worse. I mean, runaways and girls from the foster care system, that's as vulnerable as it gets. These girls who grew up in the system have often never known unconditional love from a parent. I mean, they don't even know what that is. These girls have a yearning to be loved, to belong, to be accepted, and that makes them very easy targets for predators. These women walking up and down Fig are God's children, and we have to pray for them. If these disturbing allegations in the indictments are true, no doubt heavy prison sentences up to possibly life are in store for the defendants. For you youngsters out there, this is a hood cautionary tale. Learn from it. The fast cash of a criminal lifestyle comes with a heavy price, and it is not worth it. Educate yourselves.
Message.
Develop some self-worth.
We need more black people like this. You know what I'm saying?
And don't let toxic and destructive entertainment corrupt your mind.
You have to think, young brother, about your future.
God bless and be safe.